Hey all, welcome to Parker's Reefs. On today's episode, I've finally solved the problem around heating and cooling this new tank. Alright, so a little while ago you may remember I put out a video asking for your feedback on whether you'd go for the hydronic style heating using your house, hot and cold water, whether you'd go like an industrial sort of sized pool heater and chiller combo, or whether you'd go the aquarium size and rated heater and chiller combo. And I can now say that I've gone for the aquarium sized chiller. I went that way for a few reasons. First of all, I'll start with the downsides. They are small, they are expensive, although the small can be sort of double-sided. They are expensive, but that's kind of where the cons run out. I guess the pros are that they are small, they're not ridiculously oversized, you know they're suitable for the job because they're made for the job, and they've got a little bit of, they're not going to overpower it. My fear with the pool size system was that because it was so big and so efficient and rated to do 10,000, 20,000 litre, 40,000 litre pools, that if something went wrong, it could heat or chill that 1,500 litre tank like that and create a lot of problems. Whereas when you've got a unit that's based around that size, even if something goes wrong, as hard as it can heat and as hard as it can chill, it could probably still do damage, don't get me wrong, but it's not going to do it in 5 minutes. Where I fear, and I could be wrong, feel free to shoot me down, that the pool size units may just have been a bit overkill and a little bit dangerous for my size tank. Now, if you're talking over 3,000 litre size tank, I think it's probably a good idea. In fact, the guys at Coral Essentials and Sustainable Reefs, who run some coral farms here in Australia, showed me a unit which was a smaller version, just came out of what they run, and it did look very good. It was a bit smaller, a bit cheaper, a little less powerful, and it looked really, really suitable. But in the end, I just didn't want to pioneer on this, and that's also the reason why I didn't go for the hydronic heating with the using the house hot water and cold water, or even drilling down into the earth. I just wasn't comfortable pioneering this. Now, I'm not saying no one's done it anywhere. I know when I say pioneering, I don't mean the first person in the world ever. I just mean that it's not common practice. And I find when something's not common practice, you end up having a few stumbles and a few hurdles on the way. And I just really didn't want to have to do that with this tank. For my size tank, where we're talking 1,500 to 1,600 litres, it fits right into the sweet spot of aquarium dedicated chillers. So I have gone for the Teco TK2000. I've picked up the unit with the new R290 gas, and I've got the unit here. Want to do an unboxing, and then we'll set it up on my kitchen bench, and we'll see just how quickly it can heat or cool a sink's worth of water. So let's get on into the unboxing. Alright, so here is the Teco TK2000. As you can see, it's got the, I'm pretty sure you can see it on the front there. It's got the R290 gas. You may notice that I have already undone the tape. Spoiler alert, I have already unboxed this, but I've put it all back together so I can do the unboxing video for you guys. So this is the new Wi-Fi model. It's the eco-friendly. It runs, this model apparently runs, I think, 40% more efficiently power-wise than the R134 gas. How true those claims are, I'm not sure, but it's going to be more efficient, which is a good thing. So let's crack open the box and pull this unit out. And we'll start off with the tube clamps, some tube adapters to screw onto the back of the unit, and some of the hose clamps. We've got instruction manual with it's a huge instruction manual, but it's got a bunch of different languages in there. What I do like about it is that it actually starts in Italian. That's how proud they are that this is Italian made. Normally, it doesn't matter where something's made, the first language is always English. Not the case here. We get the top of the chiller, which is, as people should know by now, with the Teco, you can put that on in any of the 4 directions to have the exhaust vent. The hot air comes out the top, and this is the exhaust vent here. Clips on, and you put that basically through whatever your cabinetry is, so you're venting the air away from the chiller. And then we've got the unit itself, which we'll just see if we can pull out. You need to lift this by the handles, which are not there. Oh yeah, that was heavy. Oh. All right, managed to get that out without dropping it, happy days. I don't think drops are covered by warranty. Remove the foam, chuck that over there. Ignore my dog barking in the background. She's pretty excited about this chiller. Hopefully not too excited. And here's our unit. It's a pretty hefty beast. I think on the box it says somewhere what it weighs. It's got to be around 25 to 30 kilos, quite heavy. All right, so I'll grab that exhaust port back. This you can basically sit on that direction, etc., etc. The idea being that the fan is here. The fan actually draws air up through the unit. It's got a filter on the front here, in there, through the core, up and out. So depending on which way you have this with your exhaust port is where it'll push the air away. So if you have it like that, it's going to draw air in from the front, up through the unit, out this way. Simple enough. It's got a couple of little locking screws to put that in different spots. We have this magnetic pre-filter here. Fairly basic looking unit. If anything, it looks a little cheap to be honest, but that's okay. It is only a pre-filter. I'll sit that back in there somehow. Actually, I think that bit's meant to stay in there. And then this has got little magnets in it, which will allow us to, we sit that in the little ridges down the bottom. Sits on there. You got your display and controller panel. And then around the side here, I should also point out you should always lift these or move these by the handles. Don't be tempted to grab it by the grill or anywhere else. The handles are where it's meant to be supported, so always grab it by the handles. And then we've got our water inlet at the bottom, water outlet at the top. Now, in our bag of goods, we'll have the hose barbs that screw onto there. So you essentially just unscrew these little caps. That's just to stop rubbish getting into the core in shipping or in storage. And you got your little hose barbs here, which you've got a gasket in there. You screw them on, happy days. Now, this unit, despite being fairly compact, is good for 2,000 litres of aquarium water. So it's slightly oversized to my aquarium, but not ridiculously oversized. And compact, as in footprint space, it's not too bad. I could actually put this in the cabinet of my tank, but I want to put this outside. That's the main area where I fell short of going the pool-sized unit, was that even the smallest unit there just wasn't going to fit neatly into the space I had there. And this aquarium, I'm really trying to have a really neat, good-looking finish. Both for myself, I really like, I feel like anything inside the glass box gets really lifted when all of the supporting logistical framework around the tank is as sharp and as perfect as looking as it can be. If you've got all messy cords and jugs of water and this ugly netting or something around your tank, I really feel like it absolutely detracts from everything inside the box. So this, the hood, the cabinet, the flooring, everything I'm doing on this aquarium, I'm trying to do as good as I physically and financially can. So even this part outside where I want to put the chiller, I'm going to have a custom-made wood box put there so that when the chiller sits in place, it just looks like it's a bit of outdoor storage, and it probably will double as a bit of outdoor storage. And the space that I've got is going to fit this footprint really well. If I went to the pool-sized chiller, despite being cheaper and stronger, it was going to be a bit bigger and just going to compromise the looks of that outside. So that's another reason why we've ended up with this unit here. But one thing I do want to point out with this, and it created a little bit of frustration with me, is that all over the box of this, it says Wi-Fi, and when you look online, it says that they're Wi-Fi compatible and all this jazz. But then when you actually get the unit, you start looking through the manual for Wi-Fi, and there's nothing about Wi-Fi in there. And then you discover this little port here. There's a little blocker here with an Ethernet port. And I was like, okay, so it's not actually Wi-Fi, but it does have an Ethernet port. So I could just plug an Ethernet cable in there and we'd be good to go. Or I can put a Wi-Fi adapter that has an Ethernet port in there. We'd be good to go. Turns out that's not true. Despite them saying that this unit is Wi-Fi, it is not Wi-Fi. It is not Wi-Fi enabled at all. It's Wi-Fi compatible. And by Wi-Fi compatible, they mean you need to buy the Wi-Fi module separately. This is a $200 extra cost Very, very frustrating. I feel like it's very misleading on the box and on the website. And I even asked online to see if people knew whether the new ones were Wi-Fi enabled. And everyone was like, yes, yes, they are. A couple of you said, I'm not sure. I think it might be a very loose definition of internet ready. And you guys were right. I had to fork out an extra $200 to get this little unit, which I must admit I'm not happy with, but it is what it is, and I figured I should share that with all of you guys so you know that if you're expecting this unit to be Wi-Fi enabled out of the box, that's not true. You got to buy this jigger, which will plug into there. I'm hoping it plugs into there. It does. And then you can download the app and control this unit. Or you also have to plug it into power. It doesn't come with power. You've got to find a USB adapter for it. Frustrating. Anyway, enough bitching and whinging from me about the... Oh, that's one good thing I will point out, that this is actually magnetic. Not that you would attach it there, but I assume there's, yeah, you can just attach it like that. That's magnetic. All right, it costs $200, but it's got magnets, so all is forgiven. I'm joking. Let's get this unit set up on my kitchen bench. I want to play with it, and when I look through the manual, everything tells me like 50 times in multiple languages, do not power the unit on until there is water flowing through it. And I'm keen as a bean, despite being a few months away off having, well, even having my new tank here, let alone having water in it. I want to get some water through this unit and test it out. I've never had a chiller before, so I'm really keen to see how it works. So let's head out into my kitchen and give it a shot. All right, so here we are. We've got the Teco setup here, powered on. I've got a little Siche Syncra 0.5 in here powering the unit, just pushing some water through it and back into the sink. We've probably got maybe about 15 to 20 litres worth of volume here, so it's not a huge amount of volume in the chiller. But I figured we may as well, now that we've got water flowing through the unit, we may as well fire it up and see how it goes for heating and chilling this water. It's pretty cold at the moment. We'll find out soon, I guess, on the display when we turn her on, which, according to my manual, I have to press down on. Okay, that's indicating it's 15 degrees. Alrighty, so I guess we press the set button, or we hold the set button. All right, now let's turn this up to 25 degrees, which is a solid 10-degree increase. Okay, so it does say we've come up to 15.2, 15.3, must be starting to warm. All right, we might let that roll for a couple of minutes and just see how it comes up temperature-wise. Okay, wow, that's been running for a long time, probably about 30 to 40 minutes now, and we're still only just at 20.6. Now, I know it's a chiller, not a heater, but this is a tiny volume of water. We're talking like a fraction of what's going to be in the tank. We're talking maybe 20 litres in here, and the tank's going to be 1,500 litres. So I'm not sure how effective this unit's going to be as a heater for the tank itself. It may, well, contribute its heating, but I feel like I may need a separate heater as well. Nonetheless, let's change the temperature on it and see how quickly we can cool this water back down, because it is a chiller and that's what it's meant to do. So let's test that out. So I believe I've got to hold down the set button for 3 seconds. Maybe. There we go. It's currently set to 25. Let's set that back down. All the way back to 15. Oh, there she goes. Now we got some action. All right, so you can see we're currently at 20.8. You can hear the noise the unit's making. I'm not sure how well you can get a visual from the calendar back there, and my wife's herbs on back here. It pumps out a bit of air, and you can hear it sucking in through there. So the unit's fired on. Let's see how long it takes to bring this back down to 15 degrees again. Okay, wow, that did chill incredibly quickly, and as it should. It's just a tiny volume of water, and it's fairly cool. There's only one little pump running in there, but it does give me a little bit of faith that this unit's going to be able to chill without any sort of problems. Unlike the heating side, which I felt was really underpowered and definitely not a solution for heating in your tank this size. This is meant to do up to 2,000 litres. There's no way knowing that heater is going to handle 2,000 liters unless you're talking a slight, like unless the room temperature drops like by 0.1 of a degree and you need this bad boy to keep up. The chilling though handled without dropping a beat, so I'm happy to see that. What I want to do now is actually grab what we're recording this on, and that's my phone, and have a look at the app, because I do have on the side here the TeConnect, which is a really strange name. It's meant to be Teco Connect, but they took out the CO from Teco and just replaced that with the Connect, so you get TeConnect. I want to get the phone off the camera here, so I'll do a screen recording so you can see what I'm looking at as we set up the Wi-Fi controls and see how this unit responds. And I'll be sure to turn the Wi-Fi off once it's set up to make sure that the unit is giving me notifications and stuff when I'm not on the same network. We can fiddle around. I can put the hot water and stuff in here and see if we can trick this unit into thinking that the tank's getting really hot and this is not keeping up, and give us some notifications and things like that. But I've got to grab that camera. All right, so here we are on my phone. I've got the TeConnect app. I still have a bit of trouble with that, and I have already registered, so it's recognized that I've registered and taken me straight to the setup screen, which is telling me to plug the unit in and make sure it's powered up, and then click proceed. So once we've done that, it tells you that it's created its own Wi-Fi network, and you can jump into your settings and find that Wi-Fi network. Now, no surprise, it's Teco, but I'm just going to jump back in here because it does say that the password is 8 zeros. So I'm just going to punch that password in, and then we'll hit join. All right, now it will connect to its own network, which is the way a lot of these devices work. And then it'll ask you for what Wi-Fi network you want to connect to. So it does a quick scan and comes up with all of the available networks. I'm going to select Parker and type in our network password. Now, one thing to point out there, and it does say in brackets that it does only connect to 2.4 gigahertz networks, so make sure your router is 2.4 gigahertz compatible. Most these days have a 2.4 and a 5, but you just need to make sure you're connecting to your 2.4 or you will run into trouble. All right, now the connection takes a second, hopefully not too much longer. All right, now it's asking us to give the device a name, which is a little bit strange. I'm just going to call it Chiller. I guess if you've got multiple of these, you might want to give them different names. And it does ask for the serial number, which is an absolute pain. And it gives you a little indication of where the serial number is. If you are setting one of these up, you're probably going to want to get that serial number before getting it tucked deep down into your cabinet somewhere. So instantly the app gives you a reading as to where your temperature currently is. It also gives you a little bit of graph to show you a trend as to whether that's going up and down. I've accidentally clicked on the setup button again there, which you don't need to do. This is the settings button where you can get all of your custom configurations. You can turn the heater on and off. You can set up notifications if it goes beyond the temperature range, and you can set what that alarm range is, which is between 1.5 and 25 degrees, which is a pretty large range. And you can hit save settings to send that back to the unit. All in all, it seems fairly self-explanatory, but still, you don't need the unit to do much more than that. All right, so I've just started to pour some hot water into the sink now, just so we can see how the app responds. And I will point out that it does have a slight delay. It seems like it sends a signal back to the server maybe every 10 seconds or so, whereas it obviously, we got a little alarm here to say that we've gone beyond our set range. And I just wanted to make sure we are on Wi-Fi, not on Wi-Fi, which we're not, and the app is still connecting, so everything's good there. So there is a slight delay between the app and the display on screen, but we're talking a couple of seconds, and it's very rare that your temperature spike is going to be like this. This is me literally pouring near boiling water into our sample water just to get a drastic temperature rise. Now, I should point out also, you can see that we've got a nice little graph here, which is pretty nifty, and that will actually come into play a little bit more as you've got a little bit more data there in the app. So it will actually log your temperatures over the whole day, the week, the month, etc. And just quickly before I wrap this video up, I just noticed one extra feature, that if you tip your device over on its side, you get this digital display, which replicates what the app actually has within it. And if you then go to the graph on that display, you get a much bigger range for your graph. And once I've got a bit more data in here, it's going to be quite handy to see. You can see along the top there, we've got the range to be within 6 hours, 12 hours, 1 day, 1 week, 1 month. So it'd be really handy to see how the aquarium is logging its temperature over that time. You can click anywhere on this graph and it will give you the temperature, the set point, and that point in time. So you can see there that that's Wednesday, or July the 1st, 3:04, and how many seconds is quite precise there. And it'll show you the temperature throughout the range, which is really cool. Very excited to see how that goes over a week or a month. All right, guys, there you have it. That's my very short-term review. I haven't even hooked the chiller up to the tank yet, but that's my unboxing and first impressions of the Teco TK2000. I think it's the 2000E, the environmentally friendly gas and more efficient. So pick either environmentally or efficient for the E, whichever you prefer. I guess in summarization, I should say how much the unit costs. It was just shy of $2,000, talking about 1,900 Australian dollars. Add on top of that the extra $200 for the Teco Connect unit, and you start talking 2,100 Australian dollars. I'm not 100% certain I got the right thing. A couple of things have left me a little bit disappointed with it. The heating on the unit's pretty woeful. The fact that I had to buy something extra to connect up to Wi-Fi, despite all the misleading suggestions saying that you could connect to Wi-Fi out of the box, was a little bit frustrating. But the two main reasons why, well, maybe three main reasons why I bought this unit is that it's small. It absolutely is. It's going to fit that space where I want my chiller to go. It's going to do that great. I bought it to chill, not to heat, and it chilled very well. It's very powerful, very efficient. It's not going to over chill or overheat, which is the third reason that I liked this unit. So I guess all in all, the three main reasons why I went for this unit over all of the other options, this unit has ticked that box, but I can't help but feel that there's a couple of things they could probably do a bit better, like including the Wi-Fi out of the box, maybe bump up the heating. I think I'll have to check in the book, but I think somewhere I saw that it's a 200 watt heater in this unit, which is tiny. When you're talking a chiller that's capable of chilling a 2,000 litre tank, 200 watt heater is almost a waste of space. You're not going to run a 200 watt heater. You're probably going to be talking maybe 600 watts, maybe more of heating. 600 to 800 watts worth of heating will be required on this tank. So 200 watts isn't really going to get the job done. So probably ignore that. Otherwise, I mean, this unit looks pretty good. It's despite all my frustrations with the fact that I had to buy the extra little box to connect the app and be able to connect to it. The app itself is fairly user intuitive, very simple. It gives alerts, it gives you some graphs of where your temperature's at over the last hour, day, week, month, things like that. It does everything you'd expect. It can even give you a little digital representation of the panel itself, which I can imagine some instances where this chiller needs to be mounted far away from the tank, and the end user wanted to have the visual of that, of the little display panel and the buttons there, hooking up the Teco Connect to that and then having a spare phone or a tablet mounted near the tank would give you that, which is a pretty nifty little idea. Of course, they could just use their phone, but if you wanted to have a dedicated little display, it'd be easy to do that too. So, I don't know where I'm at with this review. There's a few pros, there's a few cons. I don't know, let me know what you guys think down below. I just really wanted to get this video out there because when I looked around to try and find a bit more information on what the Wi-Fi in these chillers meant, I couldn't find anything. So now, I've done the hard roads, I've bought the unit, I found out that it is not Wi-Fi, I've bought the Wi-Fi add-on, hooked it up so you can check it out, see what it's like. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section down below. I have taken the chiller and I'll put it away until my tank's here. Well, I'll put it away until the cabinet maker comes over and we'll work out how we're going to build a little custom box around that spot where I want the chiller to go. And then it'll probably go away until the tank comes. But if you want me to check anything out, I'm more than happy to. So pop your questions in the section down below. If you've enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. And as always, if you're yet to, please consider subscribing and hitting that bell notification. It will make sure that you don't miss any future videos on this channel. I'll just give you a little notification to let you know a new one's out. Won't cost you a thing and it'll only take 2 seconds of your time. Anyway, guys, that's enough from me. A huge shout out to all of my channel members. If you don't know, I have a paid membership program. It's a couple of bucks a month, and I've got a number of members that are financially contributing to this channel, which goes a long way, and I really appreciate it. So all my channel members, thank you very much. A little reminder that this weekend we will have our members only live stream this weekend. So if you have not yet voted on whether you want that to be Friday, Saturday or Sunday, and also send through any questions or any topics you'd like us to discuss in that live stream. If you're not a member yet and you are interested in that sort of thing, have a look at the Join Now button down below, somewhere near the subscribe button. It'll tell you all about the membership perks, but absolutely no obligation at all, guys. Anyway, enough from me. Till next time, guys, stay safe and keep reefing. Cheers. Bye.